You're watching A-Star TV. Its owners and associates take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the hosts of this talk show or their guests.
With Willie Powells. The law 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 with Willie Powells.
Welcome to All About the Law. And here's your host, Willie Powells.
Hello and welcome to the show, everybody. I'm your host, Attorney Willie Powells. We have a dynamic show for you tonight. We're talking with one of the top trial lawyers in this country, if not the entire galaxy, and that is the one and only Attorney Willie Gary. Attorney Gary is renowned for winning a $23 billion verdict against tobacco giant R.J. Reynolds. And he has a true rags to riches story that will blow your mind away. You know, we're also going to talk with Retired Sergeant George Hollins, a 34-year veteran of the Houston Police Department. We're talking to teen drivers about the do's and don'ts of the road, and he has some great advice for all of us. So stick with us. More All About the Law is next.
Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more All About the Law.
All About the Law with Willie Powells.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powells. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powells.
During the Cadillac Season's Best Sales event, Ron Carter Cadillac, Houston's only Cadillac to-your-door dealer, delivers 0% APR for 72 months, plus $3,000 bonus cash on both the first-ever 2020 CT4 Luxury Collection for only $449 a month, and the first-ever 2020 CT5 Luxury Collection for just $499 a month, both with only $1 down. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. Ron Carter, Cadillac.com.
When it comes to protecting yourself and your partners, all the information out there can be overwhelming. Visit our website. We are a free and confidential service, striving to help you stay informed and stay notified. We are committed to a healthy Houston.
The law with Willie Powells. The law with Willie Powells.
Welcome back to All About the Law with Willie Powells. I am your host, Willie Powells. I am so honored to have my next guest on the show. He is, as I said, one of the top trial lawyers in the entire galaxy, okay, and the world. I'm not exaggerating, okay? He is a golden legal eagle, and I'm happy to call him my friend. Please welcome Attorney Willie Gary to the show.
It's good to be here.
Hello. How's it going? It's so good to see you, sir.
Good to see you too, Doc. I enjoyed that introduction. I wanted to tell you, just keep on talking.
Well, that's wonderful. That's great advice from you because you have the silver tongue and you've done a wonderful, marvelous job for so many in our country and really around the world. And, you know, I'm not joking when we say that you actually have lived and you have created the American dream out of your legal career. In fact, I first saw you on the Oprah Winfrey Show, and she was interviewing you and showing some of the great successes and many of the clients that you've helped along the way. And I know you came from very humble beginnings, parents, sharecroppers, but that never deterred you, and you have pushed yourself all the way to where you are today. Tell us a little bit about how you got started and some of the things you're doing today.
Well, first of all, let me just thank you for having me on your show. A class act, that's all I can say. You are a class act. And on top of all of that, your name is Willie. I'm Willie too.
That's right.
Now, we have a lot in common. We both are sons of the South, both are
That's,
lawyers.
that's right.
We're both trying to make a difference.
That's
And
right.
to be here with you is just great. I'm excited about being on your show. I've heard about it.
Yes.
The lawyers that talked about it, they talked about you. And I'm just proud to be a part of what you're doing here tonight.
Wow. Tell us a little bit about your rags to riches story.
Well, I was born in Georgia, one of 11 children. Times were tough, but my father always instilled in me, never give up. Times may get tough, but they don't last. Tough people last. Tough people make it. When you're down, you're never out. So he taught me that, and it's been a carryover even in the courtroom now. I just feel that every time I walk in the courtroom that I'm going to win. I feel that way because I was brought up that way, Never had a whole lot, but wanted more. Had to fight for everything that you got or wanted to have. And I think my life is a good example of if you're willing to burn the midnight oil, you're willing to outwork anybody that's in your way. Right. More than not, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. And I just thank God every day for my mom and my dad. Yes. As a matter of fact, my dad just had a second grade education. Mom finished 8th grade. Wow. And she gave birth to my sister on a Friday, and she was back in the fields working on Monday. Wow. So I know what tough times are all about, and I think it's a carryover with me in the courtroom. Yes. Sometimes you feel like giving up, but something deep down inside says run on and see what the end's going to be. And more than not, it's going to be all right.
Wow. Wow. That is a true inspiration. And I'm telling you, every time, and this is, I've had to work, I had the opportunity, the privilege to work with you before, and I feel that energy, positive energy, anytime I'm around you, whether I'm talking to you on the TV screen or in person. That's very transmittal. And, they call you the giant killer for a reason, all right? You've taken out some of the biggest and the baddest out there. And, the $23 billion verdict was just one of many great accomplishments that you've had around the U.S. In fact, there was another one that you had. I think you were defending a veteran in Mississippi, or he was a retired veteran or a veteran, and the Budweiser, I believe it was Budweiser. Is that correct?
No, that was the low-end group in Mississippi. I had a Army fellow that was in Biloxi, from Biloxi, Mississippi. We tried the case in Jackson, Mississippi, took on the Giants again, and got a $500 million verdict in Jackson, Mississippi. Yes. So we're proud of that one because we represented Jerry O'Keefe. He was, as a matter of fact, he was an old silver-headed white fellow that the big companies were taking advantage of. He was in the funeral business, and they tried to put him out of business. Well, we sued him on his behalf, and God saw fit to give us the victory for him. Wow. And I'll never forget it because Jerry O'Keefe did, as a matter of fact, the movie's being made this year. Jamie Foxx is playing Willie Gary. I thought I'd get that in. And it's about the O'Keefe story. It's about this family that were in the undertaker business. They were in the funeral service business, and they got put out of business. And we came like gangbusters after the big bad corporation that did it. Yes. We took on the giant, and we won. Oh, God bless us. $500 million.
Oh, that is outstanding. I love watching Jamie Foxx. I love you, and I think that's going to be a wonderful combination. And I love going to the movies, whether you knew that about me or not. So I am definitely going to be looking forward to checking that blockbuster out and taking notes, as I always do when I'm in your presence. And again, that's one of so many others of what you have accomplished over the years. But not only have you done an excellent job of making differences in individual lives, and helping our laws get better for all of us to be safer, but you're also making a big difference by giving back. I understand through your foundation and for historically black colleges, you have given back millions.
Well, the Gary Foundation was designed to help others. I just feel that we all have an obligation to be about more than just making money for yourself. We have an obligation to be role models for the millions of young boys and girls that are just looking for somebody to look up to. And so as I began to practice law and God was good and we started winning cases, I said, well, the first thing I want to do is go back and give back to the young boys and girls from the farming town where I grew up that may not have a chance to go to college and because they don't have the money. And so we started the Gary Foundation and we've given a lot of scholarships to young boys and girls through the Gary Foundation. So, and I think, you know, in my message to all of us, God is blessed to make it and to be in a position, reach back and help somebody. You know, be about more than just you. You know, be about making a difference. And I'm proud of the Gary Foundation because we send a lot of young boys and girls off to college. And, you know, and I thank God for HBCUs, for historically black colleges, because, well, if it wasn't for Shaw University, historically black college, Bethune-Cookman Black College, NCCU Law School, the black college, if it wasn't for those schools being there to give me a chance when others said I wasn't college material,
wow,
they were there and they gave me a chance to get an education, to get a law degree. So I feel like we have an obligation to give back. No matter where you are, you never get so big. You never let your head get too large for your hat size. Or no matter what the blessings are, you know, you still don't look down on anybody unless you're picking them up.
That's right. Wow. Wow. Tremendous words of advice. And it just also speaks volumes of your heart, you know, wanting to give back and help. Winning big and helping big. The two go hand in hand together, you know, and it's really nice. I would like to know, I was watching the, what was it? The lifestyles of the rich and famous. And, right. You know, I got to see the big, is it Wings of Justice, the big plane that you have and some of the nice cars and homes? Yeah. Yeah,
the plane came later. Yeah. But I remember Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. That was many, many years ago. And I look back and I see how God has kept me.
Yes.
He brought me from a mighty long ways.
Yes.
Blessed me in a mighty special way.
Yes.
You know, that's why I'm forever indebted to those who never made it to where we are today.
Right.
But a lot of folks stood back.
Yes.
You know, that we may go forward. A lot of folks, some fought and some died just to give us the right to have a chance to be somebody. And I say to young people, you don't have the right to be nobody.
Right.
So never look down on anybody unless you're picking them up.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know, not so long ago and before COVID, you were down here and you were doing a seminar at Texas Southern University, which I attended that seminar as well. And you were doing exactly what you're saying now. You were walking that walk, not just talking that talk. You were down sharing advice, helping people understand and grow and better their legal community, you know, their legal skills so that they can make a difference in our communities. And so as you are going forward, where are you doing more touring and helping or still practicing? What's going forward for you at this point? What does it look like going forward from here?
Well, you know, I still just feel like the best is yet to come.
Yes.
You know, we still have our best days are ahead of us. And you got to feel that way because at the end of the day, you know, you can never be more than you think you can be. So no matter how many years you've been on the battlefield, you got to still fight because there's a lot of work to be done. And I'm just excited that you know, I get up every day and I try to work out, I try to eat right, try to I've never had anything to drink in my life. I'm 73 years old, and I've never even tasted a beer. So I've been trying to do the right thing, no better than anybody else. And that's not to say that someone that may take a sip every now and then, it's okay. And I just a firm believer that, we're all in this to make a difference. And once you do that, you deserve a little spark every now and then.
Well, that's wonderful. And by the way, that's another nugget I didn't know that we shared in common. I actually don't drink alcohol either. My friends always ask, why not? But that's wonderful. I am so glad. I want to thank you again for joining us today. Like I said, we have a wonderful friendship, but every time that I sit down in your presence, I learn more, and you share additional nuggets that help me to go forward. As we're still in the fields fighting today, working to do some of the things that you have already accomplished in your career, and hopefully doing even greater things. So I'm so excited. Please don't be a stranger. Whenever you're in town, let me know. Let's stay in touch. Thank you for joining us here today on the show, Uncle Gary.
And you keep saying that. That sounds good. And you keep doing what you're doing. You're making a difference with the show.
Yes.
I mean, you're preaching to the right choirs, our young people.
Yes.
They need us now more than ever before. And you're reaching out. You're putting inspirational pieces out there for them. Yes. So keep on doing what you're doing. And, God is good. He's got something in store for you that's even greater than what you're already doing great things. But he's always there, looking to raise us or lift us up higher, and it's in the making for you. So thanks for being here. And if I'm ever in Houston, which I am a lot, I'm gonna track you down.
Yes, sir. Please do. Thank you. That came straight to my heart. I'm looking forward to being in touch with you and working with you in all other sorts of capacities. Stay safe during COVID, and looking forward to hanging out with you on the other side.
Thank you, Doc. Appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And we'll be right back after this.
If you would like to submit your video for Sue or Sit Your Ass Down, just head over to our Instagram page at All About the Law Show and click on the link in the bio.
The Law with Willie Powells.
Welcome back, and joining me now is Retired Sergeant George Hollins, a 34-year veteran of the Houston Police Department. Hello, Mr. George Hollins. How's it going today?
It's going great, Willie. How are you today?
Wonderful, wonderful.
You're looking sharp as usual.
Oh, well, and likewise. You set a great example for many years for us to follow.
Thank you.
So let's talk a little bit about teen driving, okay?
Teen driving.
Yeah, and, oftentimes people talk about this talk, right? Mm-hmm. That you have to have, right? And there's still some people who don't really know what that talk is all about. And we're going to later, not right now, but we're going to have a couple of teen drivers joining us today. And we want to talk a little bit to everybody so that our audience can understand a little bit more about what that talk is about, and then what things young drivers should know before they get out there and start driving.
Okay.
Is that good?
That sounds great.
Well, outstanding. So, oftentimes in my personal injury practice, we run into these issues. Yeah.
I'm sure.
And I'm sure in your form of practice, you run into a lot of these issues as well,
By all
right?
means, many times.
Well, I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and join in Madison and Max. Hey, Madison and Max. How's it going today?
Going well.
It's going good.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. As you know, I've got Sergeant, or former retired now, Sergeant George Hollins with us. And we understand that you're new drivers, okay? Max, you're still in school. And I think, Madison, you're a little bit apprehensive about getting started. But,
Yes.
we want to just try to give you some pointers of things you should know, really, and really all of us. It's not just for you. It's really for all of us to know when we're out there driving in the streets, not only in Houston, but anywhere that you may find yourself. And so with that, I've asked Mr. Hollins to prepare a couple of nuggets for us, maybe 5 golden points that what we can carry with us as we're going forward, as we're out there driving. And I'll let you share some of those nuggets with us. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the first thing you should do when driving is to minimize the possibility that you're going to get stopped.
Yes.
And the way to do that is to obey the traffic laws.
That's right.
And make sure that your vehicle is in compliance with the law. In other words, you don't have any broken tail lights or broken headlights or whatever, things of that nature. Make sure your inspection stickers are current, your registration and everything. Yeah. And that way, if you don't get stopped,
it lessens any possibility of something going wrong.
Exactly. But when that instance happens that you do get pulled over or whatever, you want to make sure that you survive that traffic stop.
Absolutely.
Okay. And one of the first things we want you to do is to put your hands on the steering wheel.
Yes.
When that officer, if he pulls you over. And if it happens to be night, you might want to turn the interior lights on so that he can see, and that he's not feel safe and everything.
Absolutely.
It's a two-way street. We're concerned. We are a little frightened when we hear those red lights. See those red lights and sirens coming behind us and everything. And that officer also doesn't know who he's stopping.
That's right.
You could have just robbed a bank or be, some criminal on the run or whatever.
Right.
So we want to make it as safe for him and for you.
That's
good. Keep your hands on that steering wheel.
Right. Good advice.
Be as polite as possible. This is not the time for attitude.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So don't reach for anything.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Many a citizen has lost their life because they were reaching in the glove box to get their insurance or something of that nature.
That's
if the officer asks you for your driver's license or your insurance, communicate to him what you're going to do before you do it.
Absolutely.
In other words, I'm reaching to my glove box to get my insurance, or I'm going in my pocket to get my driver's license or whatever. And move slowly and deliberately. Don't do anything real fast and everything.
Excellent advice.
Excellent. Okay, and the other thing is never get in an argument with the officer.
Right.
An angry officer is not the officer we want.
That's right. That's right.
Be as cordial and professional as you can. You may get out of the ticket just because you have a good attitude.
I believe it.
But if you argue with the officer, everything can go downhill.
That's right, and really fast.
Exactly.
Okay, and so there was another point or two that you wanted to share with us regarding.
Yes, our main objective on that traffic stop is to get home safely.
Yes.
You don't want to
really agitate that situation.
Right.
Anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You're not gonna sell the situation at the scene.
Yes.
You have court. You can go to court. You can file a complaint against the officer if things are not right or whatever.
That's right.
But
that's right.
like I said, just make sure you're safe and
get
home.
home safe.
Exactly.
Look, there are lawyers out here, okay? And as part of what we can do, after the fact, we can come in and clean up some things that may have gone wrong. So you don't have to be the judge, the jury, and everything there. Just be calm. And as the Honorable George Hollins just mentioned to us, make sure that you get home safely, okay?
Exactly.
Now, I alluded a little bit earlier to what the talk was, okay? Yeah.
The talk is basically just what we just elaborated on. We just want you to get home safely. Unfortunately, black parents, are concerned that their kids may encounter a bad officer.
That's right.
That's right. And should that happen, we want them to get home safely.
That's right. That's very true. And particularly for the black children who have never really had, or they don't really know, whereas opposed to it just seems like the way things tend to go down is that it's very important that if you have a black young man,
by all means,
yes, that we need to have this talk, right?
For sure.
Absolutely. Okay, so now let's bring back Madison and Max. I understand that, like I said, you two are just getting ready. You're at the very beginning stages. You're so excited. I remember when I was old enough, in fact, on my driver's license, it expires on my birthday. Because on my birthday, I was so excited. I was down there to get my license, and so I know you're very excited. It's a fun time in your life, but also, like I said, there's some scary things, and you guys are old enough. You've been seeing what's going on the TV, and you know a little bit about what's going on. And I understand that you have a couple of questions that you want to ask Mr. Hollins here today. Let's start with Max. And then Madison, we're going to address your question, Max, and then we're going to go to Madison, okay? And then you can ask your question, and then we'll floor your question, okay? So, Max, let us know, what question do you have for us today as a young driver getting started?
When we still try to reach, like, say if like red means stop, right? And they say reach for your license and your registrations. Like, how slow or fast should we reach for it? Because when we still try to reach for it, we still get, we still get like shot because they think we have something on us or something like that.
Yeah, just be deliberate and slow with your movements and everything. Tell the officer what you're about to do before you do it. In other words, he tells you to get your license. Officer, I'm going to reach in my glove box to get my insurance, and do that slowly. And anything of that nature. Just don't make any quick movements or anything, because that may have a bad consequence. Right.
And remember, always try to, like you said, keep as much light on in the car as you can. In fact, all the lights, turn the lights on. And like you said, they can see your hands, right?
Right.
And you're articulating what you're doing. And just very slow and smoothly, not fast, just as he said, so that it does everything to de-escalate anything that could potentially be misinterpreted, okay? So this is where you get to be the actor, if you will. You're the star, okay? And you're going to tell them what you're doing, and you're going to do it very, very, very calm and easy, so hopefully there's no opportunity for anybody to get confused. Is that okay? Excellent question,
yes.
Max. Excellent question, Max. Okay, Madison, you had a question for us. What? Go ahead and let us know.
Yes. So what I want to know is, how can I speak up and give my side of the situation if I feel that I've been unfairly stopped?
Okay.
If you feel like you've been unfairly stopped, on the scene is not the place where you want to explain, your side of it. If you feel that you've been wronged, the courts are where you get that addressed. You're not going to settle anything right there on the street. So don't try to do that. Just go along with the flow or whatever.
Right. It's so important. It's so important because, and let me just add on to that, because in the court of law, okay, where I have like some of the hardest cases that I have to work out, it's where the driver is doing the opposite of what the officer is asking, right? And they may not be doing it, not trying to be difficult or anything like that, but what it does is it does the opposite of what we just spoke about. It adds confusion, and it escalates the situation. And then now you're arguing, and that just is a bad combination of recipe that even when I do come in and I get the call after the fact, it's probably after we had to bond you out of jail, okay? Whereas if we would have started it from the way that Mr. Hollins has instructed us today, that's an issue. You sign your name, you get the ticket, you call me, and guess how those end up? Dismissed, usually. And I mean, so Max, you had another question about friends being in the car with you. What was that? What was that all about?
Should we like have one or two people in the car? And like they can also help as our witnesses. Like if something like goes down really badly or something like that, should we have like one or two people in the car or more? Or just one?
Well, it really doesn't matter how many friends you have in the car or whatever. Right. But when you pulled over, the driver is the person who the officer is stopping. Right. Just tell your friends to be quiet. Yes. They don't need to say anything. Let them just observe what's going on, but don't say anything. You don't need them, chiming in and, getting the officer upset or anything like that. So just tell them to be quiet and observe.
Excellent question. And Madison, I understand you had you had another question for us. Please let us know what is
Yes.
it.
Okay. So how is it viewed if I ask for an officer's badge number?
You have every right to ask for an officer's badge number. There's no problem with that.
Right, and again, and there's no problem with that, but just make sure, like we were saying before, that it doesn't come across as confrontational.
Exactly.
And then that way it's a smooth transaction. You're showing your information, he's showing his, but it's not like, hey, give me your, and next thing you know, you're calling me and we're getting you out.
Attitude.
Okay? Right, yeah.
Attitude.
Yeah. So excellent question.
Be overly nice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and I understand one of you guys, somebody had a question about should you film the stop?
Oh, yeah.
Should you film it?
Filming is fine. However, if you're the driver, you're not going to be able to film it, unless you just put it on the seat or something like that. Or if you have a passenger, they can film it or whatever. But you need to have your hands on that steering wheel so that the officer feels safe.
Right. And which ultimately will make it a safe situation for everybody. Remember, we want you to get home, okay? Remember, we want you to get home.
Exactly.
Okay? Not jail, not the funeral house. We want you home. Then you can call me or another lawyer. You don't have to just call me, but call somebody else, and then we can work out all the other details. Thank you. You have wonderful questions.
Amen.
We're so excited. Just let us know if you have any more. You know how to reach us. We're always happy to answer any questions we have. I'd much rather take the time on this side of it to answer your questions than afterwards, okay? So thank you so much for joining us on the show. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much
for
the
joining us on the
come
show.
on.
Oh, you're always welcome. You're always welcome here. Well, wonderful. And we'll be right back right after this.
Stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more All About the Law.
All About the Law with Willie Powells.
Have you been injured in an 18-wheeler accident, truck accident, car accident? Was someone texting and ran into the back of you, not paying attention? It doesn't matter what it is. Give me a call, Attorney Willie Powells. We'll fix it today. The number is 281-881-2457. Again, that number is 281-881-2457. We'll fix it today. Call Attorney Willie Powells.
If you would like to submit your video for Sue or Sit Your Ass Down, just head over to our Instagram page at All About the Law Show and click on the link in the bio.
All About the Law with Willie Powells. The Law with Willie Powells.
Welcome back. It's time for this week's Sue or Sit Your Turkey Butt Down. This time, it's Raquel from Atlanta.
Hello, Attorney Powells. It's Raquel here in Atlanta. I've got a question for you. I'm outside the Starbucks. It's kind of noisy, so I hope you can hear me. Listen, almost a month ago, I placed an order for an upgrade kit for my husband's truck. It was about $5,000, and I received a notification from the company that they could fulfill part of my order, but not all of it. And so they would be issuing me a refund, and that refund would be in the amount of about $1,500. And so I said, okay, fine, give me a refund. Well, 2-3 weeks have gone by and I still have no refund. I went to Chase Bank and they confirmed that no deposit or refund has been made in that amount. So I want to know, do I have a case here? Can I sue or should I sit my ass down? Let me know. Raquel in Atlanta. Cheers.
Wonderful. I love to hear from all of our supporters all the way out in Atlanta. That's so wonderful. So good to hear from you, Raquel. You have a wonderful question, by the way. But I know Christmas is here, Thanksgiving is here, and New Year's. The holidays are here. But, with your question, I believe before we start talking about suing, we should try to work things out with that entity first, because we also have to remember COVID-19 and a lot of other stuff is going on as well. And so what that means is maybe they have some employees that are out or working remotely. It may just slow the natural order, the natural process of things down. Mail may take just a few days longer. We had a few mailboxes removed in this last election. Remember that, okay? So just understand. And what I would say is this. Like you said, reach out to them. You said it's been 2 to 3 weeks. I would say at least 30 days, okay, before we start talking about suing. But just check in with them. Let them know, hey, what's going on? What's the process? Can you send me, if it's going to be sent back, maybe they're going to mail it to you, or direct deposit. So let's try to work with the entity first, because we wouldn't want you to spend another $5,000 or more to sue them. And by the time we got everything ready to file, guess what? Your check, the money shows up in the mailbox, or it shows up in your bank account. Now you've paid more money, right? We wouldn't want that. So with that, before I say sue, let's park it, okay? Let's just park it right there. We'll sit down for a little bit. Let's wait and take a different approach on it. And then if we see that it's still a problem from there, call me back, and you know I'm ready to go for you, all right? All right, now, with that, I want to hear from you. I want your input. If you have an idea or topic for the show, a video to share, let me know about it. Hit us up on Facebook and Instagram at All About the Law Show, or drop me an email at allaboutthelaw@gmail.com. Also, if you ever need me for legal advice, or if you've been involved in an auto accident, head over to williepowellslawfirm.com or give us a call at 281-881-2457. Again, that's 281-881-2457. Before I get out of here, I want to thank our guests today, the awesome, outstanding intergalactic attorney, Willie Gary, and the retired Sergeant George Hollins. And of course, our team drivers, Madison and Max White. Okay? And with that, I have this final thought for everybody. I believe that the principle of reaping and sowing is built into our world. The principle of reaping and sowing is simple. Some people call it karma. But what you put out is what you're going to get back. You plant seeds of peace and love, you're going to reap a harvest of peace and love. You plant seeds of discord and distrust, you'll reap the same. The bottom line is this: you can't sow bad seeds and expect a good crop. If you're not happy with what's manifesting in your life right now, think back to what you've been doing and saying this year. You know, have you been living, how you been living in our world, right? The seeds you've been scattering, Perhaps you need to pick up a new seed bag. Well, a new year is on the horizon. Make sure you're scattering the seeds that will get you the harvest that you're looking for next year. And on that note, we'll see you next time